this stuff. I had none of it. So all of a sudden, we had to clear the runway. I had a group of Marines, a group of Coast Guard, a group of Army, a really big group of firefighters out of the West, and nobody really knew anything. A colonel, a kid kind of jumped, a younger guy jumped on the plane and said, "Are you the highest ranking guys?" "Yes." "The colonel wants to see you." The colonel says, "All right, here's the deal. You have to have this place operational, 24-hour operation by the end of the day tomorrow. By the way, I'm leaving tomorrow, so good luck with it." And that was it. And, so that's what I did, and I ended up taking this huge group of really different people. The firefighters really didn't speak English. Their supervisor did, but it was very broken. Hardest working people I've ever met. Just great people. So those were basically the biggest deployments that I've done. And the other thing, I've spent a lot of time training people to go to Afghanistan. In the Guard, the active Air Force, if they want people to go to Afghanistan, they basically will take my unit. They want all the enlisted guys, and they want the officer to stay here. And they take an active duty Air Force officer and say, "Okay, here's your guys," and that's how they do it. So that's basically the way that worked. So I never went to a truly hostile zone. We didn't know what was going to happen in Katrina, so we were fully armed and ready. We had seen a lot of different things on TV. We were prepared for that, but once I got there, I realized it wasn't a real threat, so we locked up our weapons. Kept us out of trouble, basically.
Thank you. There's no job that's too small, and you've certainly done some very honorable things in the military. And thank you very much for your service and for all that you've done for our country. And now I'd like to open it up to everyone else.
Yes, sir.
The fiscal thing, you're right. And all the people I know have been all over that. We've been screaming and shrilling for that since before Obama got in. The problem is, the Republican leadership always caves to the liberals. Are you guys going to have enough firepower, horsepower down there to keep that from happening? John Boehner has always had the ability to say, "No, this ain't going to fly. This is what we're going to offer you." And they never do. They always go in the back room and they make a deal. Much to the chagrin of us for what it's going to turn into for our children. There's a lot of congressmen down there that are trying to do the right thing, but the leadership, the Republican leadership and the Democrat leadership, have got things wrapped up where they bring it all into a back room, they throw us under the bus again. You know what I mean? And so, look, you know what? If you were a cardboard cutout of a Maytag repairman, you'll do a better job than Tonko. Okay? So, we'll do anything we can to get you in there, all right? But is there anything that we can do about the leadership that is determined to do to us the same thing that the liberals do? They basically hold our arms down and let the liberals run over us again. And what you're desiring is the fiscally, morally, logically correct thing. We want that. We've all wanted that, okay? But the leadership of both parties in D.C. is making damn sure it's just out of our reach. Got a plan?
Well, as I'm listening to you, I'm actually getting scared because
you got 24 hours to clean it up.
Well, you know what? My whole life, I started the bank as a teller, and I said, you know what, we can do this better. But the only way I can do that is to become at least assistant branch manager. And then I got there and I said, we can do this better. The only way I can do that is to be branch manager. So I got that. And I kept going up and kept saying that until I was CFO. And now finally, we've had 5 record years in a row since I've been CFO. And we've had never foreclosed on a house since I've been CFO. And even, it's been probably 10 or 12 years. And I can only remember maybe 1 or 2. So that's why I'm getting a little scared. I did the same thing in the Guard. I said, you know what? I can help a lot more people if I was a sergeant. And I got a team of sergeants. You know what? I I can do a lot more as an officer. So now you're scaring me. I might be looking for Speaker of the House if I can't get through there. And I want to come home in 6 years. So
you know what? I don't care. If we got the right guy there, I don't care if he's there for 60 years. If he's doing the right thing, if he's the right guy,
yeah, that's
I want him there.
yeah.
You know,
Well, you're absolutely right. It's an enormous challenge, and I think part of the issue, and this is, I'm just telling you the way I see it, is what we're sending to Washington are by far the best campaigners. My opponent, you guys, I don't know if you've seen him campaign, Tonko, just like President Obama, and you can't take that away from him, he is a good campaigner. And unfortunately, the best campaigners are usually the worst legislators. They're basically looking for that photo op. The more they get the picture in the paper, the more their job is to get elected. And that's what they have to do, and that's what my job is to get elected. Whatever I have to say or do to do that, I'll do that. That's kind of the mentality. And mine is a little different. It's a lot different. I'm that consensus builder. Behind the scenes, I don't want that spotlight, and that's how I get things done at the bank or in the Air Force. I don't need to be that guy. I'll let somebody else take that credit. If that guy is a Democrat and I say, hey, we can do this, you take credit for it, I'm happy to do that. I don't care who gets the credit. The challenge becomes then I have to get elected, and that's not the place I'm most comfortable. And I've kind of thrown myself out there, and it is a little nerve-wracking to me, but I know that's what I have to do, and that's what I'm trying to do. And that's really what you guys can do to help me is if I'm having trouble touting myself, help me get the word out, help me just get those flyers out and do the things we need to do. I'm not comfortable with it, but I know I have to do it, and I'm gonna do it.
Helen, go ahead.
The right to work. I don't know that we're in New York that we're going to see that, but I think that's a very positive thing. I think that's a no-brainer. Yes.
You know you're a CFO. How are you going to keep the jobs in America from going overseas?
The same way I would handle any business situation. America needs a good product, and right now it's a little scary. If I was, I'm not a multinational corporation, but if I was, I would look at things like your tax code, how educated the workforce is, and your infrastructure. And those are the things that not only are we slacking on, but the trend is down. It's a negative trend on all those fronts. And to throw in another curveball is the uncertainty. You can't even tell. So if you say, all right, I can understand taxes are high, but America's the place I want to put my business and create jobs. But I don't know. They're high now, but they could be higher. I don't know what they're going to do. The regulations could get worse. It's so uncertain, and so I think we need certainty. We need to have a good product, balance the budget, reform the tax code, and I think we really need to make sure that our kids are educated. And beyond that, obviously government needs to handle national defense, that type of stuff. But beyond that, I think the government should pretty much step back. And I'm not saying don't have any rules and regulations. We need, but make it as streamlined as we can. If that's what's going to fix it long term. The thing I can't stand, and I would not do as a businessman, is the Band-Aid fixes where, you know what, we need jobs here, so let's give these people a really good tax break, and all the people around them have to still pay the full amount. Why not make it a good level so everybody pays it and it's attractive for normal businesses and people to come and create jobs? Otherwise, it's short term and it's just not going to work. Once you run out of money, you're out.
well, I was just going to point out, there's three very simple things that are wiping out American business. I mean, other than the out-of-control taxes, okay? The currency manipulation. If another country manipulates the currency,